equations of motion. So what we got is, one is v equals to u plus at and s equals to ut plus half at square. Some books they may use distance as z, so don't get confused. So again, what you can write is v square equals to u square plus 2as. Okay. So last, that is distance down in n second, is equals to what? U plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Okay. So in some books they may use this as x. So yes, they may use as x, so don't get confused. And suppose if this is the origin, if already travel some s0 distance, and from here if you are getting u, so then if you want to write equation here, you can write s equals to s0 plus what you can write, plus ut plus half at square. Okay, so this will give you what? This will give you total distance. S0 is already traveled, so add S0, then you can take S from here. So total you can write like this also. You can see these kind of equations in your NCERT. So don't get confused. What is this S0? S0 is distance already traveled before you starting your experiment. Okay. So this is one equation, and this equation sometimes they may write it as v square minus u square equals to 2as. Okay. So don't get confused with the different forms of the equation. We have to think why they are writing here S0, why what it will give like that. So don't worry about that one. Be clear with these equations. As you know, these are the equations of the motion when the body is traveling horizontally. Okay. So today we are going to discuss the equations of motion when the body is moving vertically upward or vertically downward. Okay. So what will get changed? What we can modify the equations? Okay. So what we can write is motion under. So when body is moving vertically, it will be under what? Gravitational force. Okay. So what heading I can write is motion. Okay. So motion under. Okay. Motion under gravity. Motion under gravity. Okay. Suppose what are the things will change when the body is under gravitational force? If this is the particular body, if this is the Earth's surface, okay. So what are the force acting here? Only gravitational force is acting. Okay. So if we have to neglect air resistance. Remember that neglecting air resistance we are talking. So what is the force acting downward? Force acting downward is m into z. Mass of the body and acceleration due to gravity. So usually what we can write, F equals to ma. Okay, that means in place of acceleration you are writing acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so that is why what will happen when the motion is under gravity. So what we can write? We can write acceleration a is equals to z. Okay, so what is g? G is acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so that is why. But the sign of this g is very important while moving upward and while moving the downward. Okay, so if I look at when the body is moving upward, or you can take moving downward. Okay, moving downward. So what will happen if body is moving downward? If this is the direction of motion, so what will happen? V is downward. And acceleration, the direction of g is what? Direction of g is always downward, means towards the center of Earth. So a is also downward. Okay, so a is also downward. So both are in the same direction. That means what? Body is accelerating. That is why when the body falls from some height, as it comes to the surface, its velocity go on increasing, means body is accelerating. When body is accelerating, when body is accelerating, so what you have to take a as positive. That means what you have to take here? You have to take plus z. Getting the point? So whenever body is moving downward, both are in same direction. So what you have to take? You have to take g as plus. Okay. If body is moving upward, so what will happen? If body is moving upward, v is in this direction. So what about A? A is in opposite direction. Okay. So in this case, what is happening? The A is opposite to the velocity. It is opposing the velocity. It is opposing the motion. So what will happen when you throw the body in upward direction? Initially it will go with little speed. Then what will happen? It will comes to the rest. Velocity go on decreasing. Velocity go on decreasing means what? It is de-accelerating. Means it is retarding. It is retarding or de-accelerating. Retarding. Okay, so if it is retarding, you have to take acceleration negative. So what you have to take? A equals to g. So minus g. You have to take minus g. Okay. So what is the value of g? Value of g is what? 9.8 meter per second square. Meter per second square is what? It is the unit of acceleration. So instead of acceleration, what you are writing? You are writing acceleration due to gravity. Okay. So these things you have to remember. Moving downward, take g positive. Moving upward, take g negative. Then you may get confused when you open your NCERT book. In NCERT book, what they have done is they have taken g negative all the time. Okay, irrespective of moving downward or moving upward, you have to take what? You have to take g negative according to your NCERT book. But if you do so, you have to change the sign of velocity. If you take negative g over here, then you have to change its direction. You have to take again what? Accelerating means what? Both should have the same sign. If you take a negative, you have to take phi also negative. Okay. So in the equations, you have to change both. In the equations, you have to change both. If here what they will take? Again they will take a negative, but phi is opposite. So what you have to take? Phi you have to take positive. So you have to change both the signs. If you take g always negative. If you take like that, that is also correct. But why to get confused? Okay. If both are in same direction, take g positive. If opposite direction, you can take g negative. Okay. So I am following this one. If you can follow that also, but when you take g always negative, you should be concentrate while taking the direction of v. If you are taking g always negative, if v is downward, you have to take negative v. If you are taking a always negative, if it is moving upward, you have to take v positive. Okay. So don't get confused with all those things. Follow this one. If body is moving downward, it is accelerating. Accelerating means what? G or a should be positive. If body is moving upward, what will happen? It is retarding or it is de-accelerating. De-accelerating means what? Acceleration should be what? Negative. So you can take g negative. Okay. So as of now, you follow this one. For any confusion, we will see later. Okay. So now I will write these equations for these two situations. Okay. What is first equation? When body is thrown downward or moving downward. So when body is moving downward or object is moving downward and body is moving downward. Okay. So when body is moving downward, you have to write all these three equations. Okay. So what is the first equation? First equation is, so first what you have to take? You have to take a equals to minus g. Okay. So minus g or plus g? Plus g. Okay. Plus g you have to take. Moving downward. So what is first equation? V equals to u plus 80 is there. V equals to u plus 80 is there. So what you have to change? You have to replace a by g. Okay. A by g. So what is the first equation? V equals to u plus g. Okay. For second equation, here we will take what? We will take the distance. But now here what you have to do? You have to take it as height. You can take this as height h. Okay. That means from here you are throwing the ball downward. Okay. So distance will become what? Distance will become height now. Okay. So s equals to h, or you can say you can take just s equals to h. That is what? Height of the building or vertical height. Okay. So now what you can write? S equals to ut plus half 80 square. So what you have to do? You have to replace s by h, then a by g. Okay, positive g. So next one more equation, what is that? V square equals to u square plus 2as. So v square equals to u square plus 2. Instead of a, what you have to take? You have to take g. Instead of s, what you have to take? You have to take h. Okay. So these are the equations of motion when body is moving downward, means when body is under gravity. Okay. So what is fourth equation? Fourth equation is Sn. So I can write it as Hn, a distance or vertical height covered in n second. So what is that? U. U is initial velocity, no need to worry about that one. A by 2 means it will become g by 2. 2n minus 1, write as it is 2n minus 1. Okay. So whenever they ask write the equations of motion when body is moving downward, you can write this one. Okay. So now what will happen? Now if you think, if we take a negative g, what will happen? You have to take u also negative, v also negative, again negative will get cancelled, you will get positive only. Okay. So don't worry about that one. So next is when body is moving upward. We will write the same equations when body is moving upward. When body is moving upward. Okay. So what you can write when body is moving upward means if this is the height. Okay. So here is the body. So it is moving upward. Okay. So what you can write? You can write it as in place of a, g is downward. This is direction of v and this is the direction of g, opposite. So a you can take it as minus g. So again s equals to what? H only. So no need to worry about that one. So v equals to what? U plus gt. Okay. Similarly, what about the second? H equals to ut plus half gt square. Remember here it is not plus. So a equals to minus g means this will become what? Minus g. So this will become what? Minus g. Okay. So next p square equals to u square plus 2gh. So minus g is there, so this will become minus 2gh. Okay. So similarly hn is equals to u minus g by 2 into 2n minus 1. Okay. So these are the set of equations. These are the set of equations when body is moving upward. These are the set of equations when body is moving downward. Okay. So now I will write these equations for a particular situation when body is dropped, means when body is under free fall. Okay. So no much difference you will see when body is under free fall. Okay. Or equations of motion for body free falling body. Okay. So what you can write? Body under free fall means, suppose this is the building, somewhere you are standing over here. So and you will drop a ball from here. Okay. This will come down. You are not throwing it. In this case, you are throwing it downward. Okay. It is having some velocity, initial velocity. But here you are not throwing it. You are just dropping it. You are dropping it means you are not applying any force. If you are not applying any force means what? It is not having any initial velocity. So u is going to be when ball is just dropped. When ball or body is just dropped. When body is just dropped. When body is just dropped. So what will happen? U will be 0. Initial velocity will be 0. So what you have to substitute? You have to substitute u 0 in all these cases. So first equation, v equals to 0 plus gt. That means v equals to what? V equals to gt. Again substitute 0 here. So h equals to what will happen? Ut. 0 into t, 0. So what will remain? Half gt square. Okay. Similarly, v square equals to u square plus 2j. So v square equals to 2gh. So you will become what? You will become 0 for this one. Okay. Next for hn, you will become 0. So what will happen? G by 2 into 2n minus 1. Okay. So these are the equations. These four are the equations when body is under free fall. Okay. When it is just dropped, you are not giving any initial velocity. Here you are giving initial velocity. Okay, so all these things you have to remember. Just you have to replace a by g, and looking at the downward and upward direction, you have to change the sign also. Okay, these are the what equations of motion or Newton's equations of motion when body is under gravity. Okay, so now we'll see motion parameters. Motion parameters for vertically projected body. Okay, so vertically projected body. Okay, so whatever so far I discussed was we got separate equations when body is moving upward, coming downward. Vertically projected means what? Suppose you are standing over here and you will throw some ball vertically upward. Okay, so it will go here and again it will come back to the same place. Okay, so you will throw it with some velocity, and here it will reach some zero velocity, means it will come to rest. When you throw it, velocity go on decreasing. Here you will throw it some velocity u and decreasing, it will become 0. Then as it coming down, velocity go on increasing, so final velocity will attain some final velocity v. Okay, so for this we will see some motion parameters. Motion parameters means how much height it will go, how much time it will take to reach the maximum height, or how much time it will take to come down, or how much total time it will take. So all these things are called as what? All these things are called as what? Motion parameters for vertically projected body. Okay, so this is what the height. This is what the height. Okay, so first one we will see. First one is what? Maximum height attained. Okay, maximum height attained. Maximum height attained. Okay, so maximum height attained means what? Suppose if you throw a body, so it will it will reach with zero velocity. That is what the maximum height. So if you throw here, this is what going to be maximum height when p is what? P is going to be what? 0. Okay, so how we can find this one? Initial velocity is what? Initial velocity is u, and we know that. So what you can write? P equals to moving upward means a equals to what? A equals to minus g. Okay, P equals to u minus g into t. If you use this equation, h is not coming only in the whole equation. Okay, so that means you cannot get the value of h, maximum height, from this equation. Okay, so you cannot use this equation. Then which equation you can use? Okay, so you can use p square equals to u square minus 2gh. Okay, so h is what? Maximum height attained. So if you take maximum height, or you can say h equals to h maximum. When h will become h maximum, what will happen? Your v will become what? V will become 0. So substitute here. V is 0, u square minus 2gh maximum. Okay, so take this on this side, so 2, it will become plus, so 2gh maximum is equals to u square. So h maximum is equals to what? U square divided by 2g. U square divided by 2g. Okay, so this is what the maximum height attained. H maximum is u square divided by 2g. Okay, so now next is time of ascent. So next we can take time of ascent. Time of ascent means what? The time taken to reach the maximum height, or to go in this direction, to come from here to here, how much time it will take to ascend. So what you can say? Time taken to reach the maximum height. Okay, so I can write also time taken to reach maximum height. Okay, So here what you can write, so if you throw it, so when it is reaching maximum height, when h will become maximum, what will happen? V equals to 0. Then what about u? U is there, u is having some initial velocity, so what you can write? It is moving upward, means velocity, direction of a and a are different. A is in downward direction here. Okay, so a equals to what? Minus g. So what you can write? You can write it as v equals to u minus g into t. Okay, so what you can write? V is what? V is going to be 0. So 0 equals to u minus gt. So g into t equals to u. So t equals to what? T equals to u by z. So time of ascent, so I will take it as TA. TA equals to u by g. So this is what time of ascent. TA equals to u by g. This is what time taken to reach maximum height, means to go upward. Okay. Now you will see time of descent. Time of. So now I will use equation h equals to ut minus what, ut plus half h square, so minus gt square. Okay, minus sign or plus sign? Plus sign, because it is moving downward. Okay, so a equals to g, not minus d. Here it is minus g. Okay, moving upward, so moving downward. So h is what? It is coming from maximum height, so I can write as h maximum is equals to u equals to what? 0. Now this will become what? Your final will become initial, so u equals to 0. So this will become total 0. So this is what? Half gt square. Okay, what is h maximum from here? H maximum is u square divided by 2g. H maximum is u square by 2g. So u square divided by 2g is equals to half gt square. Okay, so what will happen? 2 will get cancelled. So what you can write? You can write it as u square equals to u square by g is equals to g into t square. Okay, so you take g on this side. So u square by g square equals to what? T square. Okay, so t equals to what? Root of u square by g square. U square by g square. So root of u square by g square means what? It is nothing but u by g. It is nothing but u by g. So time of descent, I will write as Td is equals to u by g. Time of ascent is also u by g. Time of descent is also u by g. Okay. So what is time of ascent? So time of ascent is u by z. So time of descent is what? U by g. So you can conclude something here. What you can conclude is for any vertically projected object. So for vertically projected object, for vertically projected object. So what you can write? For vertically projected object, you can write it as time of ascent is equals to time of descent. That is TA equals to TD. Okay. So or you can say time of ascent is equals to time of descent. Okay. So remember this one, for any vertical projected object, time of ascent is equals to time of descent. Okay. So these are the parameters of vertical projected object. So we can find one more parameter here. What is that? Fourth parameter is total time of flight. Okay. Total time of flight in the sense the total time taken to go upward and come back to the same position, means total time taken for the whole journey. So what is that? So total time t is equals to, so time taken to go up and time taken to come down, means total time is equals to time of ascent plus time of descent. As we know they are equal, so then also you have to write. So t equals to, what is time of ascent? Time of ascent is u by g Then what is time of descent? That is also u by g. So total time is what? 2u divided by g. Okay. So this is what the total time taken by an object when you projected it vertically. So it will take this much time to come down. That is what 2u by g. Now if you look at these two, this is what initial velocity when you throw, and this is what final velocity attained by the body. Okay, so u is what initial velocity, and v is what final velocity. Okay, final velocity for what? For whole journey. So if you want to consider time is what? Total time of flight. Okay. Now I want to find relation between these two. Are they same or different, or final is more than initial, or initial is more than final? To find all these things, we can take help of what? Total time of flight. Okay. So we know that v equals to u minus gt. Okay. V equals to u plus at. So minus gt for vertically upward moving. So what you can write? V equals to u minus z. So this t, what you have to take? You have to take total time of flight for the whole journey. Okay. So for total time of flight, t is what? Total time of flight t is what? T is equals to 2u by g. So substitute here 2u by z. So g will get cancelled. V equals to u minus 2u. So v equals to what? Minus u. Okay. That means what? Final velocity is equals to initial velocity, but what opposite direction? Here it is upward, here it is downward. Okay. So what you can write? You can write initial velocity is equals to final velocity, or final is equal to initial but in opposite direction. Okay. So v final is equals to v initial but with negative sign. Okay. So this is what we can derive from the what? Time of flight. Okay. So like that we can derive so many things. Suppose if you want to write maximum height in terms of what? In terms of time of flight. So maximum height in terms of time of flight. Okay. So what you can change here, or how the equation will get changed in terms of time of flight. Okay, that is t. H maximum, what you are having, H maximum is u square divided by 2z. Okay, so H maximum is equals to u square by 2z. You have to write in terms of what? In terms of time of flight. What is time of flight? Time of flight is 2u by z. Okay, so what you can substitute for u? U equals to t into z divided by 2. T into z by 2. T is here, g will come here, so divided by 2. So substitute here. So t g divided by 2 whole square divided by 2z. So what you will get? This will become t square g square divided by 2 square, 4. So 4 into this is what? 2z. Okay. So z will get cancelled. So H maximum is equals to what? 1 by 8 into t square z. 1 by 8 into t square g. Okay. So like this you can write one equation in form of any other equations. Okay. You can write maximum height in terms of time of flight, or you can write time of flight in terms of maximum height. So many things you can do changes here. So go through all these equations, try to derive yourself. There is no big science in that one. There is no rocket science. So simply you go on replacing a by g. So take the consideration of minus g or